so bright, kiddo.
The camera can't handle it.
Yeah.
Charisma, I serve it to your side, hold my love.
Do you ever walk and think about how strange it is that every human that you see has their own human experience?
Yeah. You know what's funny? So yesterday I was going to the run club and then
Okay, yeah, we get it.
then this couple walked past me.
Yeah.
So do you remember when we were in the Hamptons in 2018? And
Barely.
we were at Surf Lodge and we met these group of guys.
Like the ones we had dinner with?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, but I also don't.
And it was one of the guys.
How do you remember these things?
Because he looked still exactly the same. And
Did
then
he
I texted
recognize
him.
you?
Yeah, I texted
No
him
way.
on Instagram after, and he was like, "No way! I thought it was you. Should have said hi."
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Crazy, right?
You're gonna have a superpower, which is recognizing people from years ago. Even this other girl that you exchange numbers with, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, guys. It's a superpower, exchanging numbers with girls.
He was like, oh, remember this in 2018? Yeah, I saw her yesterday.
Yeah.
Huh. Saying
that-
this out loud
That was in 20.
sounds quite weird.
That was in 2021. It was not 2018. The guy.
Oh my god, look at her boots.
Your style is
Queen.
crazy.
What is it?
She was wearing the Gucci boots that I was wearing yesterday. No, your strength is my weakness. It's also like, I don't know, I don't just see people's faces, I see,
Their souls.
no, I see so much when I look at a human, so it's very hard to remember it. Actually, I read about it in a book where people who pay too much attention to details, they have a really, really, really hard time remembering, because they can remember details such as like the shape of the nose, or like the way the eye moves while talking, or like these little small details, but then they cannot remember the like big picture, if you want to call it like that. I read about it in a book because I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what I have, because I pay attention to like every detail, their energy and their mannerism, the way they move, express, the way everything. And I think that's what it is. I'm sure that's what it is. Ooh, a little bench.
Oh, and some mushroom elixirs.
Oh, I think we should sit down. I'm not sure if there's a pleasant background.
Just today is very bright,
I know, it is very
which is
bright.
very nice, obviously.
But I think it's something that I thought about is that, you know, obviously in my head I'm the main character, and in your head you're the main character.
In my head, you're the main character. And in Rue's head, also you're the main character.
But like everybody, like you as the viewer, you're a main character and you have your own world and you have your own universe, and that's why nothing is ever personal, like ever. Because everything comes from within you, so it happens in your world. Does that make sense? Because it makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's also two kinds of people. Like there's people like you, where you happen to the world, and then there's people also where the world happens to them.
Can you elaborate?
Like you always had this kind of like you take things in your own hands, you know? So you happen to the world. But then, because the world is there, but then you take it and make it your own.
But then the world doesn't happen to me.
No? So I said it the other way around.
Wait, I'm confused.
And then there's people where the world happens to them.
I know
so
what you want to say.
they just react.
Yeah, you want to say I act and others react.
Yeah, so you happen to the world, and for others the world happens to them.
Oh god, that's actually really interesting. So yesterday, my camera roll on my phone starts at 2015. So yesterday I was watching like one of the very first videos and looking at how much I've changed. It's actually shocking. Like the way I talk, the way I dress, and that's normal. Okay, we all change, I get it. But at the same time, and that's what I found very, very interesting, I was this complete different person. Like I had a very different appearance, or like my vibe to the outside was very different. Then when I saw what I was like saying and how excited I got about the little things, I just felt exactly the same. I think the one difference was that I noticed is that I used to feel so much more free in like being me to the outside, because these were like old Snapchat stories. And obviously like when, 10 years ago you're starting out, obviously you have much more freedom than done this for 10 years and you have created your thing. I think that goes without saying that you are not as free anymore, and that's a topic, I've touched upon in the past. And then another very interesting thing. So I saw that and I was like, oh, this is like so interesting. Also, like that scene that I'm talking about was me playing with a dog. So nowadays, if I would like go to a friend and I would see their dog in their garden, I wouldn't make this whole like story out of it. But I used to make that, and that I found very interesting.
What story?
It was literally just like a story out of nothing. And nowadays I always think like this is not interesting enough, this is not big enough. And like I think we need to come back to this like, okay, this mundane experience can be very meaningful and interesting if we show it from our point of view. That was actually really inspiring to me because I have a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, like even when I'm at home, I'm like, oh, this is boring, like nobody would care. Anyway, and then this other thing, so I opened 2 pages in my journal and I like to do that every now and then. I do it very rarely, maybe a few times per year. But when I do it, it's always interesting because throughout the year, I have recurring life topics. And I swear to God, the 2 life topics, you know, I talk about this a zillion times, but like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Blah, blah, blah. I literally wrote about this beginning of March and in January. And it's always the same topic.
Yeah, it is. You have this over and over again. It's just a circle of life.
I want to break the pattern though.
But I think that's the experience. Always wonder what's, no?
I fear you're right.
I don't think anyone always knows what's next.
No, I get it. I just wonder if it's possible to find your creative and like authentic expression in life, like just in general, like feeling very like authentic and fulfilled in exactly who you are and what you do. And I know that I almost feel like it's always fleeting because once you reach that point and you stay in this point for a little bit, it keeps repeating and you need to reinvent yourself again. Or do you think there's eternal?
I think there's some, like a very few people, but I think also they're not on social media or anything like that. I think you have to live a completely different life in order to be satisfied. And also, I think even, and I mean, you know that as well as I do, like people where it seems they have it all figured out have the same kind of thoughts as you have. And they also, even if they are super successful, they have momentum, whatever, they are in the same kind of headspace and they also are fearing that it will not be forever, which it won't. I think the big advantage that you have is that you have been going through a few of those cycles already and you know kind of like what to do, or you obviously don't know what to do to get out of it, but like you know that it comes and goes in waves. You won't always be on top and you won't always be at your lowest as long as you do and keep doing, if you know what I mean.
That was
and you're very
good
at this actually, like, and I think even if you look back at times where you thought, oh, and you did this, like you went back and you looked at those pictures from times where you thought you had it all, and the reality is even back then you thought you didn't have it all.
You're right.
Exactly.
I just feel like I want to reach a higher level of artistry and a higher level of being authentically me, and like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but we don't know if she, from the outside it looks like she but she also must be like, fuck, I'm like on top of the world, and of course she will always have like a legendary status, like nothing can ever change that. But there will be another artist at one point who is bigger than Taylor Swift, and she knows that, and she knows that her success is not forever. I mean, of course,
but
like,
apart from the success, I feel like she has found her outlet and her voice,
yeah,
like her authentic voice. And like, you know, what I'm talking about is taking all our experiences on Earth as humans, repackaging them and putting them back out into the world with our interpretation. She does this through songwriting, and I do it a little bit through like writing here and there, videos here and there, but I feel like I haven't found that form where I'm like, oh my god, this feels like my art has arrived.
But I think it's also because we live in this world where it's not only that you want it also be validated by kind of like success.
Yeah, sure. Like that's a whole nother layer, but even remove this layer, like remove the success.
Yeah, but then like even you could take your diary and say, okay, this is my form of expressing myself.
But my diary is just like...
For you, yeah. Or even something else. Like if you want to write...
Publish my diary as a book.
Yeah, but that's the thing, I think...
I literally thought about writing a novel just for like...
Oh, well, you could. But that's the thing, like I think nowadays it's also like, okay, we want whatever we are passionate about also be validated, and the validation most of the time comes in the form of success, like views, likes, whatever.
You're 100% right, like 100%, it's a big part of it.
You don't want to do it in the dark for yourself.
But that's what it should be. You know, like if Taylor Swift didn't have an audience, she would still be writing songs. I would still be taking photos.
Yeah.
Like that's what's very true.
So you found it already?
No, I kind of did, but I feel like the commercialization of what I'm doing is limiting, in my head, my search for
Meaning.
artistry. Like I saw this girl earlier, and so Jesly is her name, and I met her a few times. She's super, super, super nice. I'm just obsessed with her artistry. Like she is so unapologetically herself and so self-expressive. And I found it so inspiring where I'm like, ooh, I look at her videos and I'm like, oh my god, I want to share my life through that lens of authenticity. Do you think it's all la ba 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 la di la di la di la?
No, I just don't know if a lot of people will be able to relate.
That's okay.
Which is a good question. But I think, I mean, you have that type of commercialization in every
You're right.
part. Like
Jürgen always brings out such smart sentences. He's so smart.
Even in like a painter,
You're
or
so
even
right.
like take like someone who plays professional football, whatever, or soccer. At one point, it's like, are you really doing it? I mean, soccer is I don't know if it's a good example, but some people are they're starting to play for money rather than for
Passion.
So you change what you're doing, and because it also became your job. Not to say that the job cannot be fun, but I think also what you just said is very true, that then things just change. Like you have to play by the rules a little bit more at one point, and those are not your rules, it's more rules of the market, like society, what's being valued the most. And also, of course, like especially with what we do, it's also, it needs to appeal to not only a niche but like to a lot of people. So it's even
being commercial is part of the game that I'm playing.
Yeah, in a way, and not, you're totally right. Like in the end, you always need to find a good balance between being commercial and being unique in yourself, because if you're for everyone, you're for no one.
100%. No, also by commercial, also, I just mean that this is my job. I just mean that this is what I do for a living.
Yeah, and so then of course, like from time to time, you bend yourself a little bit. I think you have a good balance of figuring out, okay, this is still true to myself. This is what I need to say no to, which you are also doing.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I almost wanna like become really, really good at
saying no.
No, I became quite good at that, but more like really improve my filmmaking. And I'm not talking about YouTube, I'm just talking in general. Like I feel like I have that sauce for like photos.
You just have like a very great artist, or how do you call it, like in movies, it is art direction, right? Like cinematography, yeah. You understand how to capture a moment, how to get the right frame.
Maybe I should put more effort in that, because I didn't really put effort in that. But I just want to learn and get really good. I feel like that's the most fun in the game we're all playing. Learning and getting good at that. Anyway, time for Barry's class.
Yeah, now it's time
for
Barry.
A little long talk. I think the other outfit was too good. It was too slay. I need to save it for another time. It just looked too good. I feel like if I look this good, I need to be fitter.
Show your beautiful bowl.
Okay. Oh. Oh. You can play the game. If my dog thinks I'm dead. I'm back to life. Thank you. Okay, one more. I got your bag! I got your bag! Oh, I got your bag! left me. Whoa. Okay, so the workout was fun. I mean, it was so much more high energy than usually, and I was like, ooh, this is like the very intense part that I was always afraid of when thinking about berries, that it's like too culty. And it felt like this today because people were just like very energized. Like they went into the training very energized, and there was like a lot of screaming and stuff. And then later throughout the training, we realized that those are trainers from like other locations, I guess, and they were just training. So then it made sense that the trainers had this like very high energy. In the end, you end up having the same energy because it just pumps you up. But when you're not in that state yet, you're like, I'm overstimulated. Today is a day. I'm telling you one thing about New York. There are days when you're like cool with the sounds of New York, the busyness, the noise. 9 out of 10 days it's okay. And then there's always this one day where it's really loud. But like not in a sense that it's loud as it usually is. It's more loud than normal. And today was one of these days that were like much more trucks, much more this, much more that. But maybe also Jürgen and I were saying earlier, maybe we're just sensitive today. And I was thinking when I went to Barry's, I was like, ooh, this is like really overstimulating. It's adding on top. But at the same time now, being at home and it's quiet and I can relax. This is the best. Maybe I'm doing it for the contrast. Cause would the silence be as nice if there was no noise? The eternal question. Okay, I gotta get ready.
Our boiled egg was great. Goodbye. We're in the car. I'm in my outfit. Look, we have the, it's a little bit stressful because there's a lot of traffic. We definitely will, but no. It's so scary. Nobody can get anywhere, and I'm starting.
Considering that I don't pride myself in my makeup skills, my Halloween makeup didn't turn out bad. It's giving anime. Did I even tell you what I'm going as? I am going as my childhood heroine. No, Rue, not you. You're my adult heroine. It's Sailor Moon. It's gonna be funny. Not much time left. LOL. Okay. I am doing my hair, and you can witness it, whether I fail or I succeed. I feel like this in itself is kind of cute, but let me try. Ugh. I feel like I just don't have enough hair. This side worked out. Alright, let's give it another shot. It's not perfect, but it's not awful. I'm supposed to put this hair up here. I feel like I should just like not do this part. I don't know, I look a little bit funny. It's okay. Lol. It's too short. Okay, so Sailor Moon.
Tuxedo Mask.
Don't forget your rose.
Do I take it the whole time?
Yeah, the whole fun of it. Okay, guys.
We should rush. The car's downstairs.
The car's downstairs. See